Sorry, I hope that didn't get caught on camera. I just clear my throat. Okay. Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Vinod Vihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki Jai. Nitya Pravishram Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Shri Guru Dev ki Jai. Nitya Pravishram Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Shri Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Pravishram Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitya Pravishram Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Pravishram Vishnupad Ashutara Shata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitya Pravishra Mahābhāgavata Śrīla Gokṣaras Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Nitya Pravishra Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Jai. Nitya Pravishra Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Rupa Anupavarya Guru Varga ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhattadasa Raghunath Shard Goswami Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shikor Parshad Vrinda ki Jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gora Mandala Vraja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki Jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki Jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki Jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki Jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki Jai. Jai Shri Kamada Akarashi Titi ki Jai. Titi Palan Kari. Akarashi Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hari Bo. So just checking, it's all. Hey. What the heck? It didn't go live. 44 and huh. That's so strange. Wait, let me just check again. Seems like it didn't go live. Oh, it did go live. Okay. Sorry, it just was didn't load for some reason on my thing. Okay. Hari Bol, everybody. Let's do the Mangala Charan. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Avatirno sakarunyo parichinno sarishvaro Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Dvau Bhrataro Bhaje Namastrikala Satyaya Jagannatha Sutaya Cha Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Lakshmi Kanta Jai Jai Nityananda Ballabha Ekanta Jai Jai Vaikunta Ishwar Nyasi Raj Jaya 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 Bhakata Samaj Jai Jai Patita Pavana Gora Chandra Dana Deha Hridaye tomar pada dvandva. Shesh khanda katha bhai shuno ekachite. Nīlācale gora chandra aila jemate. Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaya vina. Iti vigyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam. Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshai. Shiptashtakamaditaranga madhe. Kripa maitvam sharanam prapanna. Vrinde namaste charanarvindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right. So, oh wait, the glories of Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata and Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur from Śrī Caitanya-charitamrita. Ore mura lok shuno Chaitanya Mangal, Chaitanya Mahima jate jani veshakal, Krishna lila bhagavate kohe Ved Vyas, Chaitanya lilar Vyas Vrindavana Das. Vrindavana dasa koilo Chaitanya Mangal, Jahara Shravane Nashi Sarvaya Mangal, Chaitanya Nitar Jate Jani Mahima, Jate Jani Krishna Bhakti Siddhanter Sima, Bhagavate Jata Bhakti Siddhanter Sar, Likhiyachin Iha Jani Koriya Udhar, Chaitanya Mangala Shune Jadi Pashande Javan, Sheho Maha Vaishnava Hoy Totakhan, Manushe Rachite Nare Aiche Granta Dhanya, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Vakta Shri Chaitanya, Vrindavana Dasa Pore Koti Namaskar, Aiche Granta Kori Teha Tarila Sansar, Narayani Chaitanyar Uchishta Bhajan, Tar Garve Janmila Shridasa Vrindavan, Tar Ki Arbhuta Chaitanya Charita Varnan, Jahara Shravane Shuddha Koilo Tribhuvan, Sahaje Vichitra Madhur Chaitanya Vihar, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Amrite Dhar, Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Amrite Dhar. By nature, all the activities of Śrī Caitanya Mahāprabhu are very wonderful and sweet. And when they are described by Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur, they become like a shower of nectar. Jai Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata ki jai. The Gaudiya Bhashya of Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. All right, so Dandavat Pranams, Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu. And let's see who's there on YouTube and Facebook. Haribo Suman Shil. Strange, there's nobody else already. All right, so we're continuing reading from Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Antya-khaṇḍa chapter 8. So I'm just making sure I share it. Okay. Yeah, we're starting from Caitanya-bhāgavata chapter 8. But first, before we start reading from chapter 8, I think it'd be nice to read the summaries of chapter 6 and 7 so that we get the flow. So, one sec. The glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Oh, Haribo, Manjari Didi. And the reading for today is not going to be so long. So I think maybe at the end we could read more from that book, Sweet, Sweeter, Sweetest, or we could read some Harikatha about Akadashi Titi from Śrīla Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Maharaj. There's an article. I saw a chapter in his book. Anyhow, we'll see how much time we have when we finish. We're reading up to verse 74, chapter 8. Okay. Okay, so chapter 6. God, something in my throat. This chapter describes how a Brahmin colleague of Sri Mahāprabhu became suspicious on seeing the dress and behavior of Sri Nityananda. On seeing the dress and behavior of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and he inquired from Sri Gaurasundar about his doubts. The Brahmin inquired about his doubts. And then how, by scriptural evidence, Sri Gaur Hari removed that Brahman's doubts concerning Sri Nityananda, and also described to him the glories of both the transcendental Vaishnavas and Sri Nityananda, who is beyond the jurisdiction of rules and regulations. Let's read the more in-depth summary of this, chapter 6. When Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who is non-different from Baladev, was enacting various pastimes in Navadvip and attracting people to the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Chaitanya while dressing with various ornaments and clothing, while accepting sandalwood pulp and flower garlands, and while chewing betel nuts with camphor. One of Sri Gaurasundar's Brahmin classmates from Navadvip became suspicious on seeing Sri Nityananda engaged in such pastimes and behavior contrary to the rules and regulations prescribed in the scriptures. Even though that Brahman had firm faith in the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya, he developed some doubt in Nityananda Prabhu's behavior, which is beyond Vedic rules and regulations. This Brahman went one time to Nīlācala and secretly revealed to Sriman Mahāprabhu his doubts about Sri Nityananda. He said that everyone calls Nityananda a sannyasi, and a sannyasi is prohibited to touch any object made of metal. But Nityananda is always decorated with various gold, silver, and jewel-studded ornaments. He wears fine silk cloth rather than saffron loincloth. He carries an iron rod rather than a danda. He always stays and eats at the houses of Shudras. And as such, his behavior is not seen to be in accordance with the Shastras. Why should a person who is accepted by everyone as a great personality act in a way that is contrary to the principles of ashram? To remove the doubts of that Brahman, Mahāprabhu quoted evidence from Śrīmad Bhagavatam to establish that the faults seen through the mundane vision in Uttam Adhikari Vaishnavas are not actually faults. Lord Krishna Chandra is supremely independent, and as such, he constantly resides and enjoys pastimes within the body of the Uttam Adhikari Vaishnava. Therefore, all activities of an Uttam Adhikari are meant for Krishna's pleasure. This is possible only for a non-duplicitous Uttam Adhikari Vaishnava. Only Rudra can drink poison and be addressed as Nīlācala. It is not possible for others. By imitating the activities and behavior of an Uttam Adhikari, one's destruction is inevitable. In this regard, Sri Gaurasundar quoted 2 verses from the 10th canto of Śrīmad Bhagavatam as evidence. He also described an incident from the 85th chapter of the 10th canto of Śrīmad Bhagavatam as an example of how severely one has to suffer and take birth in sinful species of life if he even makes comments on the external so-called sinful activities of non-duplicitous exalted personalities. When even perfected personalities can suffer unlimited miseries and fall into the pit of karma by ridiculing the behavior of a transcendental Mahabhagavat Vaishnava, then what can be said about ordinary people? The worship and pretension of chanting the holy names performed by a person who worships Vishnu and chants the holy name of Hari, but blasphemes devotees of Hari, are all useless. All their worship and all their chanting of Hari Nam, it's all useless. They blaspheme devotees of Hari. And a person who engages with the love and devotion and the service of the devotees of the Supreme Lord can undoubtedly attain the service of Krishna. A person who makes a show of worshiping Vishnu but disregards the worship of a Vaishnava is a proud person. The characteristics of the supremely independent Sri Nityananda who is non-different from Baladev, are incomprehensible and inconceivable to ordinary living entities. They are beyond all rules and regulations. If anyone even unknowingly blasphemes Nityananda, he will fall down forever, even after achieving the devotional service of Vishnu. To inform everyone of these instructions, Sri Gaurasundar immediately sent that Brahmin to Navadvip. Sri Gaurasundar said, anyone who has unflinching love for Nityananda certainly has love for me also. Of this, there is no doubt. Being non-different from Baladev, Sri Nityananda is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even if he appears to drink wine or associate with women, he is eternally worshipable for Lord Brahma. After hearing these words from Sri Mahāprabhu, the doubts of that Brahman were destroyed, and he developed faith in the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda. The Brahman went to Navadvip and immediately begged forgiveness for his offenses from Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and thus attained his mercy. In conclusion, Thakur Vrindavan explains that even if different people from different statuses of life say anything about Sri Nityananda, if a living entity somehow or other takes shelter of Nityananda and Gaurachandra, then, as a worshipper of the spiritual master and Gauranga, that person certainly becomes worshipable to the author. Nityananda alone, and so Vrindavan Das Thakur says, Nityananda alone is my eternal master, and I am his eternal servant, birth after birth. I beg everyone for servitorship to Nityananda. If, in spite of Sri Nityananda's matchless glories, a person blasphemes him, then there is no possibility of auspiciousness for that person other than a kick from the lotus feet of Nityananda's servants. The author concludes this chapter by describing the service of Sri Nitai Gaur, along with their associates and attributes. So that was a summary of chapter 6. And now let's read the summary of chapter 7. Hari Bol Rukmini Didi, Dandavat Pranam. And Champak Mataji, Hari Bol. Oh, and Champak Mataji, I saw the message about having Achyutananda Prabhu speak. The thing is, I arrived very late. Like I arrived at 7 a.m., like when it was time to read. I was in Mayapur, and I just rode my bicycle here this morning. So it's just, there isn't enough time to arrange anything. Yeah, so maybe for Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj's disappearance day, which is coming up on May 2nd.
Haribo Prabhu, that's fine. I spoke with him today because he lived in the Mott for 2 years and he didn't know anything about it, but he's definitely open. So thank you so much for getting back to me. Yeah, if you need any contact, I can put the his email. That might be easier because I only have a phone number for him because he doesn't have Facebook, and I don't even know if he has WhatsApp either.
Okay, great. Yeah, please share that with me, and then
I will.
That would be a real treat. He had association with all the different god brothers of Srila Prabhupada in all their mats. Of Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Keshav Goswami, my Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti-Vedanta Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Madhav Goswami Maharaj, and yeah, so we'll hear very early memories of Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Goswami Maharaj. That'll be really neat.
I agree. Radhe.
Okay, so chapter 7, pastimes in Sri Gadadhar's garden. This chapter describes Sri Nityananda's return journey to Nīlācala from Navadvip, Sri Gaurasundar's description of Nityananda's ornaments as the 9 types of devotional service, Sri Nityananda's pastime of seeing Lord Jagannath, and the ecstatic pastime of Sri Gaurasundar and Nityananda's eating at the Tota Gopinath temple. Pastimes in Sri Gadadhar's garden. I like that title. Okay, so after taking leave of Mother Shachi and Sri Dham Mayapur Navadvip, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, along with his associates, went to Nīlācala, where they stayed in one flower garden. When Sri Gaurasundar came alone to that garden to meet Sri Nityananda, the Lord offered prayers to Nityananda by reciting the shloka beginning Grihniyad Yavani Panin, and then circumambulated him. Sri Nityananda also manifested ecstatic love upon seeing the moon-like face of Sri Gaur. A current of great ecstasy swelled in a loving conversation between Śrī Caitanya and Nityananda. While glorifying Śrī Nityananda, Sriman Mahaprabhu said that the gold, silver, pearls, rudraksha, etc. that are found on Śrī Nityananda's body are the 9 types of devotional service. Śrī Nityananda has awarded to even fallen souls the most rare loving devotional service that is desired by even great sages and mystic yogis. And Nityananda is capable of giving away even Lord Krishna, who is supremely independent. Śrī Nityananda is a personification of the mellows of devotional service to Krishna, and the body of Nityananda is the abode of Krishna's pastimes. Śrī Nityananda also revealed his own subordinate nature to Śrī Gaurasundar. Hari Bol Shubhananda Prabhu. Dhanyavad Pranam. Mahaprabhu said that the 9 types of devotional service certainly adorn the transcendental limbs of Śrī Nityananda as its ornaments. As ordinary people who do not understand why Lord Shiva decorates his head with a snake, imagine or think differently about him. Similarly, people on seeing ornaments on Śrī Nityananda's transcendental body, people proud of their material knowledge, become offenders at his lotus feet. Lord Shiva is a servant of Śrī Shankarshan, or Ananta. So out of love for his worshipable Lord, Shiva keeps Śrī Ananta on his head. Similarly, for the pleasure of Śrī Gaurasundar, Śrī Nityananda also decorates his transcendental body with the ornaments of the 9 types of devotional service. Fortunate persons can understand these confidential topics, and thus they become happy and attain service at the lotus feet of Śrī Krishna. Sinful people, however, become destroyed by being deceived by their material knowledge. Śrī Nityananda and his associates are Śrī Balladev and Balladev's associates of Braj. Devotional service and the devotional sentiments enjoyed by the associates of Nanda Maharaj are present on the transcendental body of Śrī Nityananda as his ornaments. Śrī Caitanya and Śrī Nityananda sat in that solitary flower garden and discussed confidential topics and the rare transcendental sentiments of Gokul desired by personalities like Śrī Uddhav. In this regard, the author glorifies the supreme position of Śrī Krishna Chaitanya and warns about the grave consequences a person faces if, without understanding the confidential loving quarrels between Śrī Nityananda and Śrī Gaurachandra, he takes the side of one Lord and blasphemes the other Lord. After taking leave from Nityananda, Śrī Gaurasundar returned to his own residence. Śrī Nityananda went to see Lord Jagannath, where he manifested pastimes of Mahabhav, and from there, he went to the house of Śrī Gadadhar Pandit in one garden. The deity of Gopinath was situated in the house of Gadadhar. This deity is so attractive that even the hearts of atheists become melted on seeing him. Śrī Caitanya-dev personally embraced this deity. When Śrī Gadadhar heard the news of Śrī Nityananda's arrival at his house, he left his recitation of Śrīmad Bhagavatam and came to greet him. During their meeting, they both became overwhelmed with love while glorifying each other. Neither of them would ever converse with the other's enemy. Gadadhar resolved that he would never see the face of a person who blasphemes Nityananda. Śrī Gadadhar Pandit invited Śrī Nityananda Prabhu to have lunch at his house, and Śrī Nityananda gave Gadadhar Pandit some fine rice fit for offering the Lord that he had personally brought from Bengal for offering to Gopinath. He also presented a beautiful colored cloth to Gopinath. Gadadhar put that colored cloth on the transcendental body of Śrī Gopinath. He then cooked the rice that Nityananda had brought from Bengal and offered it to Gopinath, along with vegetables and a preparation of spinach picked from the courtyard of the Total Gopinath temple. At that time, Śrī Gaurasundar also arrived at Gadadhar's house and told Gadadhar that he was certainly entitled to a portion of Nityananda's goods, Gadadhar's cooking, and Gopinath's remnants. On hearing Sri Mahaprabhu's merciful words, Gadadhar became extremely happy, and he placed a plate of Gopinath's prasad before Mahaprabhu. While honoring the rice given by Nityananda and while praising the cooking of Gadadhar, Mahaprabhu manifested the pastime of honoring Gopinath's prasad. Śrī Gaurasundar, Nityananda, and Gadadhar finished their pastime of honoring Prasad in the midst of laughing and teasing each other. Then the devotees gathered there, plundered the remnants and plundered the remnants of the three Prabhus. Thakur Vrindavan concludes this chapter by declaring that one who hears or reads about Sri Gaur Nityananda's pastime of eating at the house of Gadadhar will attain devotional service, and by describing topics of Gaur, Gadadhar, and Nityananda's living together in Nīlācala. Doesn't seem to be a complete sentence. Anyways, yeah, that was quite a blissful chapter. I remember. Now, so that's a summary for chapter 6, chapter 7, and now we begin chapter 8. And this will be a short reading today, by the way. Yeah. And as if you're just coming now, I'm going to read maybe Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja's his chapter on Ekadashi in this book. What's the book called? A Taste of Transcendence, I think. Yeah, Taste of Transcendence. Yeah, I was looking at this, and there's a chapter on Ekadashi, right? Let's see. Oh, maybe I was thinking of a different book. Oh, I saw in one of his books there is a chapter on Ekadashi. Anyways, we'll look afterwards. Anyhow. Otherwise, we could read from Sweetest, but let's just start. Okay. Jai Jai Mahāprabhu Śrī Krishna Caitanya, Jai Nityananda Tribhuvana Dhanya. All glories to Śrī Krishna Caitanya Mahāprabhu. All glories to Nityananda Prabhu, who made the three worlds glorious. Bhakta Goshti Sahita Gauranga Jai Jai, Shunile Chaitanya Katha Bhakti Labhya Hoy. All glories to Sri Gauranga and his devotees. Just by hearing the glories of Lord Chaitanya, one attains devotional service. Eve Shuno Vaishnava Sabar Agaman, Acharya Goshai Adi Jata Bhaktagan. Please hear now about the arrival of the Vaishnavas headed by Advaita Ācārya. Śrī Ratha-yātrā rasi hoilo shamoy, Nīlācala bhakta goshti hoilo vijoy. When the time for Ratha-yātrā arrived, all the devotees came to Nīlācala. Ishvar agyai prati vatsare, sabe aisena Ratha-yātrā dekhi bare. By the instruction of the Lord, the devotees would come every year to attend the Ratha-yātrā. Acharya Goshai agre kori bhaktagan, shabe Nīlācala prati korila gaman. Keeping Advaita Ācārya in front, the devotees traveled to Nīlācala. Cholilen Thakur Pandit Srinivas, Jahar Mandire Hoilo Chaitanya Vilas. Srīlas Pandit, in whose house Lord Chaitanya performed his pastimes, he also came along. Gaudiya Bhashya, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 25. Cholila Acharya Ratna Shri Chandra Shekhar, Devi Bhave Jar Grihe, Nachila Ishwar. Chandrasekhar Acharya, in whose house the Lord danced as Devi, also came. Gaudiya Bhashya, Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Madhya-khaṇḍa, chapter 18, text 31. Cholilen Harishe Pandit Ganga Das, Jahar Smarane Hoy Karma Bandhanash. Gangadas Pandit came. Simply by remembering him, one's fruit of bondage is destroyed. Gaudiya Bhashya, Śrī Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 10, and Caitanya-bhāgavata Adi Khanda, chapter 2, text 99. Pundarika Vidyanidhi Chalila Anande Uchashware Jarishmari Gauranga Gaura Chandra Kande. Pundarik Vidyanidhi also joyfully came. While remembering him, the Lord cried loudly. Oh, and Rukmini Didi said there are a couple quotes from Caitanya-bhāgavata near the end of Srila Gurudev's book, Harikatha and Vaishnava Aparad. Cool. Śrī Gaudiya see Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 7, text 11 to 13 and 15. Chalilen Harishe Pandit Vakreshwar Jai Nachite Kirtaniya Shri Gaur Sundar. Vakreshwar Pandit, who danced while the Lord performed kirtan, happily came along. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya-khaṇḍa chapter 3, text 469 to 473. Chalila Pradyumna Brahmachari Mahāshay Shakshat Nrsimha Jar Shange Katha Koi. Pradyumna Brahmachari also came. Lord Nrsimhadev used to talk with him directly. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya-khaṇḍa chapter 3, text 186 to 187. Chalilen Ulase Thakur Haridas Ar Haridas Jar Sindhu Kule Vas. Haridas Thakur joyfully came, and another Haridas who stayed at the shore of the ocean also came. Chalilen Vasudev Datta Mahāshay Jar Stane Krishna Hoy Apane Vikray. Vasudev Datta, unto whom Lord Krishna sold himself, also came. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya-khaṇḍa chapter 5, text 26 to 28. Cholila Mukunda Datta Krishner Gayan Shivananda Sen Adi Loya Aptagan. Mukunda Datta, Lord Krishna's singer, also came. Shivananda Sen and others brought their families along. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 26, text 158 to 159. Antya-khaṇḍa chapter 1, text 84 to 85. And chapter 2, text 122. Chalila Govindananda Premite Vival Dashadik Hoy Jar Smarane Nirmal. Govindananda. Govindananda, who is overwhelmed with ecstatic love of God, also came. By remembering him, the 10 directions are purified. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 8, text 113, and chapter 13, text 337. Chalila Govinda Datta Mahaharshamane Mul hoya Jai Kirtana Kore Prabhu Sane. Śrī Govinda Datta, who led kirtan in the Lord's party, also jubilantly came. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 23, text 20. Cholilen Ācārya Śrī Vijay Das Ratna Bahu Jare Prabhu Korilo Prakash. Śrī Vijay Das, the writer whom the Lord called Ratna Bhanu, jewel-handed, also came. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 26, text 37 to 55. Sadashiv Pandita Chalila Shuddha Mati Jar Gare Purve Nityanandir Vasati. The pure-hearted Sadashiv Pandit, in whose house Nityananda previously resided, also came. See Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila chapter 10, text 2034. Purushottam Sanjay Chalila Harshamane Je Prabhur Mukhya Shishya Purva Adhyayane. Purushottam Sanjay, who was the Lord's principal student when the Lord taught, he also jubilantly came. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 1, text 129. Hari boli cholilen pandit Shriman Prabhu nrite je duiti dhoren savadhan. Shriman Pandit chanted Hari Bol as he came. He carried a torch to light the way when the Lord performed kirtan. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 18, text 157. Nandan Acharya cholilen Pritamane Nityananda jar grihe Aila Prathame. Nandan Acharya, in whose house Lord Nityananda first stayed, also came along in ecstasy. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 3, text 123. Harishe Chalila Shuklambar Brahmachari Jar Anna Magi Khailen Gaur Hari. Shuklambar Brahmachari also happily came. Gaur Hari personally begged rice from him and ate it. Yes, that was a very beautiful chapter. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 16, text 108 to 148. Akinchana Krishna Das Chalila Sridhar Jar Jal Pana Koila Prabhu Vishwambar. Neat. Akinchana Krishna Das. We know Akinchana Krishna Das Babaji is. Sridhar, the materially impoverished servant of Śrī Krishna, also came. Lord Vishwambar drank his water. Gaudiya Bhasha. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 23, text 432 to 490. Cholilen lekhak pandit Bhagavan jar dehe Krishna hoya chilo adhishtan. Bhagavan Pandit, the writer in whose body Lord Krishna appeared, also came. Gaudiya Bhasha. See Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Lila, chapter 10, text 69. Gopinatha Pandita, Arshi Garbha Pandit, Cholilen Dui Krishna Vigraha Nishchita. Gopinath Pandit and Śrī Garbha Pandit were both certainly forms of Krishna, also came. Cholilen Vanamali Pandit Mangal, Je Dekhilo Suvarner Shri Halamushal. The auspicious Vanamali Pandit also came. He saw a golden club and plow in the Lord's hands. Jagadisha Pandit, Hiranya Bhagavat, Harishe Chalila Dui Krishna Rase Mata. Shri Jagadish Pandit and Hiranya Bhagavat, who were both intoxicated in the mellows of ecstatic love for Krishna, also joyfully came. Purve Shishu Rupe Prabhu, Jai Duir Ghare, Naivedya Kaila Ani, Shri Hari Vasare. In his childhood, the Lord ate the grains that they offered in their house to Krishna on one Akadashi. Gaudiya Bhasha. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Adi-khaṇḍa chapter 6, text 20 to 35. Cholilen Buddhimanta Khan Mahashai, Ajanma Chaitanya Agya Jahar Bishai. Buddhimanta Khan, from the time of his birth, carried out the order of Lord Chaitanya. Who from the time of his birth carried out the order of Lord Chaitanya, also came. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 18, text 7 to 10, and text 13 to 17. Harishe Chalila Śrī Ācārya Purandar, Bap Boli Jare Dake Śrī Gaur Sundar. Śrī Ācārya Purandar also happily came. Śrī Gaur Sundar addressed him as father. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya-khaṇḍa chapter 5, text 15 to 17. Cholilen Śrī Raghava Pandita Udar, Gupte Jar Ghare Hoilo Chaitanya Vihar. The magnanimous Raghav Pandit, in whose house Lord Chaitanya secretly performed many pastimes, also came. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya-khaṇḍa chapter 5, text 75 to 108. Bhavaroga Vaidya Singha Chalila Murari Gupte Jar Dehe Vaishe Gauranga Shihari. Śrī Murari Gupta, the lion-like doctor who cured the disease of material life, also came. Lord Gauranga secretly resided in his body. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa chapter 10, text 7 to 34. Chalilen Shri Garuda Pandit Harishe Nama Bole Jare na Langhilo Sarpa Vishe. Shri Garuda Pandit also happily came. By the influence of the name of the holy names, he was not affected by the poison of a snake. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela chapter 10, text 75. Cholilena Gopinath Singha Mahashar Akrur Koriya Jane Gaura Chandra Koi. Shri Gopinath Singha also came. Lord Gaurachandra would address him, Lord Gaurachandra would address him as Akrura. See Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela chapter 10, text 78. Prabhur Parama Priya Shri Rama Pandita Cholilen Narayana Pandita Sahita. Shri Ram Pandit, who is very dear to the Lord, came with Narayan Pandit. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya-khaṇḍa chapter 5, text 34 to 35. I think I'm going to stand up, starting to feel tired. I darshane Shri Pandit Damodar Ashi Chilo I Deki Cholila Satvar. After seeing Mother Shachi, Shri Damodar Pandit also returned to Nīlācala. Gaudiya Bhashya. See Caitanya-bhāgavata Antya-khaṇḍa chapter 9, text 91 to 111, and Shri Caitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila chapter 3, text 21 to 45. Ananta Chaitanya Bhakta Koto Janinam Cholilen Sabe Puri Anander Dham. Oops. 1 second. Innumerable devotees of Lord Chaitanya, whose names are not known to me, but who are abodes of ecstatic love, also came. Aistane Bhakti Kori Vidai Hoya Cholila Advaita Singha Bhakta Goshti Loya. The lion-like Advaita Prabhu had respectfully taken permission from Mother Shachi. The lion-like Advaita Prabhu had respectfully taken permission from Mother Shachi and came along with the devotees. Jai Jai Drave Janen Prabhur Purva Prita Shabaloila Shabe Prabhur Bikar Nimitta. Everyone brought the Lord's favorite foodstuffs to offer him. Sarvapate Sankirtan Korite Korite Ailen Pavitra Koriya Sarvapate. The devotees performed Sankirtan throughout the journey and thus purified the places along the way. Ullase je Haridvani Kore Bhaktagan Shuniya Pavitra Hoila Tribhuvana Jan. The people of the three worlds became purified by hearing the tumultuous vibration of Hari Hari made by the devotees. Patni Putra Dasa Dasi Ganer Sahite Ailena Paranande Chaitanya Dekhite. The devotees brought their wives, sons, and servants and went in great ecstasy to see Lord Chaitanya. Jaistane Rohin Asi Sabe Basa Kori Shaistan Hoy Jeno Shri Vaikunta Puri. Wherever they stopped along the way, that place became like Vaikunta. Shuno Shuno Are Bhai Mangal Akhyan Jaha Gai Adidev Shesha Bhagavan. Please listen, dear brothers, to these auspicious topics which are glorified by the Supreme Lord Ananta Shesh. See Śrīmad Bhagavatam 3.8, verses 2 to 8.7. E mata range maha purusha shakal mangale ailena Nīlācala. In this way, all those great devotees happily and safely arrived at Nīlācala. Kamala purete dvaja prasada dekhiya porilen kandi shabe dandavata hoya. When the devotees came to Kamalapur and saw the flag on the top of Lord Jagannath's temple, they all offered obeisances and began to cry. Gaudiya Bhashya, Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta says Prabhupada. Kamalapur is a village situated a short distance from Āṭhāranālā. From there, one can see the flag on the top of Lord Jagannath's temple. We read about Mahāprabhu reaching Kamalapur, right? Prabhu o janiya bhakta goshtir vijay ago bari bare chitta koila ichamoy. The independent Lord understood that the devotees had arrived and desired to go and greet him and desired to go and greet them. Advaiter prati ati priti jukta hoya agre mahaprasada dilen pataya. Out of affection for Advaita Ācārya, the Lord sent Mahaprasad to him. Ki arbhuta priti she tahar nahi anta prasada pathaye jane kataka parjanta. There is no end to the Lord's love and affection for Advaita Ācārya. The Lord had sent prasad all the way to Katak for him. Shayane achilo kir sagar bhitore Nidra bhanga hoilo mor nadar hunkare. Mahāprabhu said, I was lying on the ocean of milk, but the loud calling of nada broke my sleep. Advaita nimitta mor e avatar, e mata Mahāprabhu bole bar bar. Śrī Advaita Ācārya is the cause of this incarnation of mine. Mahāprabhu would repeatedly speak like this. Etake Ishwar Tulya Jatika Mahanta Advaita Singhere Bhakti Koren Ekanta. Therefore, all exalted devotees who are as good as the Lord offer all respects to Śrī Advaita. Aila Advaita Shuni Śrī Vaikunta Pati Agu Badi Lene Priya Goshtira Sanghati. When the Lord of Vaikuntha heard about the arrival of Advaita Prabhu, he took along his associates and went to greet him. Nityananda Gadadhar Shri Puri Goshai Cholilen Harishe Kaharo Bahyanai. Nityananda Gadadhar and Shri Puri Gosvāmī forgot everything else and happily accompanied the Lord. Sarvabhauma Jagadananda Kashi Mishravara Damodara Swarupa Shri Pandit Shankar Kashishwar Pandit Acharya Bhagavan Shri Pradyumna Mishra Prem Bhaktir Pradhan Patra Shri Paramananda Rai Ramananda Chaitanya Dwarapala Sukriti Govinda Brahmanda Bharati Shri Rupa Sanatan Raghunatha Vaidya Shivananda Narayan Advaiter Jeshta Putra Shri Achyutananda Vaninath Shiki Mahiti Adi Bhakta Vrinda Ananta Chaitanya Bhrita Koto Jani Nam Ki Choto Ki Bodo Shabe Korila Payan. Okay. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Jagadananda Pandit, Kashi Mishra, Sarup Damodar, Shri Shankar Pandit, Kashishwar Pandit, Bhagavanacharya, Shri Pradyumna Mishra, Paramananda Puri, Ramananda Roy, the Lord's pious doorkeeper Govinda, Brahmananda Bharati, Shri Rup and Sanatan, Raghunatha Vaidya, Shivananda, Narayan, Shri Achyutananda, the eldest son of Advaita, Vaninath, Shiki Mahiti, and innumerable other topmost devotees, both prominent and obscure, whose names are unknown to me, all forgot everything and joyfully went with the Lord to greet the devotees. that's interesting. Śrī Achyutananda, like Advaita Acharya's eldest son, Achyutananda he was living with Gadadhar Pandit, right? He's Gadadhar Pandit's disciple in Puri at that time. He wasn't living at home. Let's see, Gaudiya Bhashya. Śrī Achyutananda was more advanced in devotional service to Vishnu than the other sons of Advaita. The other sons were not advanced in their devotional service. Paramanande shabe choli len prabhu shange, bahya drishti bahya gyan, nahi karo ange. They all went with the Lord in great ecstasy. They had neither external vision nor external consciousness. Śrī Advaita Singha Sarva Vaishnava Sahite Asiya Milila Prabhu Āṭhāranālā. The line like Śrī Advaita Ācārya and his group of Vaishnavas met the Lord's group at Āṭhāranālā. Prabhu o aila naren tere aguan dui goshti dekha dekhi hoilo vidyaman. When the Lord passed by Narendra Sarovar, he saw the two groups meet. Dure dekhi dui goshti anyonye shab dandavata hoy shab porila Vaishnav. When the two groups of devotees saw each other from a distance, they all fell flat and offered obeisances to each other from a large distance. Dure advaitere dekhi Śrī Vaikuntha Nath ashru mukhe korite lagila dandapat. When the Lord of Vaikuntha saw Advaita Acharya in the distance, he offered obeisances with tears in his eyes. Śrī Advaita dure teki nija prananath puna puna hoite lagila pranipat. Similarly, when Śrī Advaita saw the Lord of his life in the distance, he offered repeated obeisances. Ashru kampa sweda murcha pulaka hunkar dandavata boy kichu nahi dekhi ar. Tears of love, shivering, perspiration, fainting, hairs standing on end, loud roaring, and offering obeisances was all that could be seen at that time. Tui goshti dandavata keba kare kore, shabe chaitanya rase vivala antare. Although the two groups of devotees offered their obeisances to one another, no one knew who was offering obeisances to whom, because they were all absorbed in Lord Chaitanya's loving mellows. Kiba chota, kiba boro, gyani ba agyani, dandavat kori shabe kore hari dwani. Whether junior or senior, learned or not, they all chanted the names of Hari and offered obeisances. Ishvara o koren bhakta shange dandavat, Advaitadi Prabhu o koren she mata. The Lord also offered his obeisances along with the devotees, and Advaita Acharya did likewise. Gaudiya Bhashya. Mahāprabhu, Nityananda, and Advaita Prabhu reciprocated with all the devotees by offering them obeisances. Such pure dealings based on transcendental literatures are not found in the non-devotee Smarta community. E mata dandavata korite korite dui goshti ekatra milila bhalo mate. After offering obeisances in this way, the two groups of devotees merged together and exchanged greetings. Ekane je hoilo ananda darashan ucha haridvani ucha ananda krandan. At that place, the devotees joyfully met each other and loudly chanted the name of Hari while crying in ecstasy. Manushe ki pare iha korite barnan, shabe ved vyasa ar sahasra vadan. A human being cannot possibly describe all this. Only Ved Vyas and Ananta Shesh are able. All right, so that is our reading of Caitanya-bhāgavata for today. Wow, it's not even 8 o'clock. It's only 7:57. Anyhow, yeah, so we're gonna stop here. Let's read a few translations, maybe. Seeing Advaita Ācārya, the Lord embraced him and soaked him with tears of ecstatic love. Advaita Prabhu appeared to be the incarnation of bliss as he recited a verse while offering obeisances to the Lord. He completely forgot about whatever items he had brought for worshiping the Lord. In great happiness, the lion-like Śrī Advaita loudly roared and repeatedly exclaimed, "I brought you! I brought you!" At that point, the loud vibration of the holy names of the Lord filled the entire universe. What to speak of the Vaishnavas? Even the fools cried and chanted the name of Hari. All the devotees embraced one another as they chanted the name of Hari and cried in joy. They all offered obeisances to Advaita Prabhu, who was the cause of Lord Chaitanya's advent. Then the two groups of devotees made a great commotion as they engaged in a loud performance of Sankirtan. No one knew who was dancing where, who was singing in what way, or who was rolling on the ground in which direction. Everyone became overwhelmed with happiness on seeing the Lord, and the Lord made everything most auspicious by dancing in their midst. Nityananda and Advaita embraced each other and danced like two mad lions. The Lord embraced each and every Vaishnava with great affection. Lord Chaitanya, who is the Lord of the devotees, who is controlled by the devotees, and who is the life of the devotees, cried as he embraced the devotees. By the order of Lord Jagannath, sandalwood pulp and thousands of flower garlands were brought there at that time. Seeing the garlands sent by Jagannath, Lord Gaurasundar became very happy and first garlanded Śrī Advaita Ācārya. The Lord then garlanded and applied sandalwood paste on each devotee with his own hands. Seeing this display of the Lord's mercy, all the devotees raised their arms and cried loudly. The devotees held the lotus feet of the Lord and asked the following benediction: "May we never forget you, life after life. Janma Janma Jena Prabhu, Toma na Pasori." Whether we may take birth as human beings, animals, or birds, may we always see your lotus feet. O Lord, O ocean of mercy, please give us this benediction. The devotees cried out in this way as they held the lotus feet of the Lord. The chaste wives of the Vaishnavas began to cry as they stood gazing at the Lord from a distance. There was no end to their affection for the Lord, for they were all expansions of the Supreme Lord's internal energy. Shabe Vaishnavi Shakti Bhed Kichunai. They were all as good as their husbands in knowledge and devotion. This was the verdict of Lord Chaitanya. In this way, all the devotees entered the town with the Lord while singing, dancing, chanting, and playing musical instruments. There was such a manifestation of ecstatic love that not even a single person was unhappy. Mahāprabhu led them from Āṭhāranālā to the bank of Narendra Sarovar in 10 dandas, about 4 hours. At that time, Balaram Krishna, Govinda, and the Vijay Vigraha arrived at Narendra Sarovar for performing water sports. There is a tumultuous vibration of chanting the Lord's holy names, mixed with the sounds of mridangas, conch shells, kettle drums, and other large drums. The scene was beautified with thousands of umbrellas, flags, and chamars on all sides. No sound could be heard other than the loud chanting of Jai, Jai, and Hari, Hari. In this way, Balaram, Krishna, and Govinda, the Vijay Vigraha, were brought to the bank of Narendra Sarovar with great pomp. So we'll continue hearing about the pastimes that the Lord performed at Narendra Sarovar with the devotees, the water sports, and all that. We'll read that tomorrow. We'll finish chapter 8 tomorrow. It's not a long chapter. It's just a little bit too long to finish all in one day. So that's why. So now we're going to read, oh, it's right here, the significance of Ekadashi Vrat. So we're going to read from Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja on the glories of Ekadashi. I know for some of you, you're following Ekadashi tomorrow, right? For us here in Navadvip, it's today. Anyhow, even if you're following it tomorrow, it's good to have prepared for Ekadashi, right? So, all right. So this is from the book A Taste of Transcendence by Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja, whose 100th Vyasa Puja festival we've been celebrating over the past 3 days. Text is a little small, isn't it? Anyways, hopefully it's not too much of a problem for you. Okay, so Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tirtha Goswami says, today is a most auspicious day, Mohini Ekadashi. Ekadashi means Hari Vasar. This titi, in the bright moon fortnight, is very dear to Lord Hari. In one word, Hari Vasar. For this reason, it is most auspicious. This is its speciality. So, if you perform bhajan, worship of Krishna, by means of shravanam, kirtanam, smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering, and other devotional forms, other forms of bhakti, on Ekadashi, you will get 1,000,000 times more benefit than on other days. If you realize the utility or benefit of following this vow, then you'll be actuated to observe it. There are two kinds of benefit. In the Sanatana Dharma scriptures of India, there are two main divisions. There's Karma-khaṇḍa and Bhakti. Karma-khaṇḍa is the part of the Vedic literatures that prescribes rituals and ceremonies suitable for the obtainment of material temporary benefits. This is called Karma-khaṇḍa, smartha. From smriti comes the word smartha. Those Brahmins who are well versed in smriti are called smartha Brahmins. They prescribe laws and regulations taken from the smartha scriptures, advising, if you perform this sort of vow, you will get this sort of benefits. To encourage worldly people, they speak of worldly benefits. By this, the worldly minded are inspired, but pure devotees do not want any such material temporary benefits. This is called Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotion. One is the Shuddha Bhakti line, and the other is a Smartha line. They are quite different. Now, in the scriptures, you will find a description of the glory and utility of observing Mohini Ekadashi. The description can be found in the Surya Puran, which is named after the sun god Surya. What is the nature of this glory, utility, or benefit? Yudhishthira Maharaj asked the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, kindly tell me what the name of the Ekadashi is in the bright moon fortnight of the month of Vaishak, April, May, and what will we get by observing this Ekadashi? Please tell me. We're in Vaishak right now, but I guess was it the previous Ekadashi was Mohini Ekadashi? Because this one, which Ekadashi is this? Kamada Ekadashi. Let me just open up the calendar really quick. Here. Oops, sorry. There. One is Mohini Ekadashi. Previous one is Pap Mochani Ekadashi. This one is Kamada Ekadashi. And when's the next one? The next one is Varutini Ekadashi. But it says that it's, maybe it's the previous one. Anyways, I don't know. Actually, I can search. One is Mohini Ekadashi. Okay. Mohini Ekadashi, according to this calendar, is in May. Okay, I guess it's the Ekadashi after. Okay. All right. So now in the scriptures, okay, so Yudhishthira Maharaj asked the Supreme Lord Krishna, kindly tell me what the name of this Ekadashi is in the bright moon fortnight of the month of Vaishak, April, May. And what benefit will we get by observing this Ekadashi? Please tell me. Krishna replied, I will not respond to your question based on my own initiative. That is to say, based on his own opinion. That is the procedure. You will find that even the Supreme Lord and the sages observe this procedure of presenting evidence based on the previous evidence given by self-realized souls. Even Krishna himself. Shri Krishna continued, Vasishta Muni played the pastime of acting as the guru of Bhagavan Ramachandra. Bhagavan Ramachandra once put a special question to his guru. He said, I'm experiencing extreme grief caused by separation from my consort, Sita Devi. Why is this happening to me? How can I overcome this extreme separation grief? Vasishtha Muni replied, you are the Supreme Lord. By uttering your name, everyone becomes emancipated and delivered from all kinds of difficulties. So why are you questioning me? Why are you questioning me like this? You are surely putting this question to me for the benefit of the enslaved jivas of this world who have the desire to obtain their eternal welfare. You are asking on behalf of those who strive diligently towards this goal. To obey your order, I will say that if you observe the Mohini Ekadashi Vrat, it will destroy all sins, even heinous ones. If you observe this vow, you will be relieved of your separation grief. I shall provide an example to illustrate this point. One second. I'm really curious to see and see, I have this Chaitanya Panjika, because we're in Vaishak month right now. I think isn't this Ekadashi called Mohini Ekadashi? Let's see. No, it says Kamada. Okay. And then let's see what the previous one is called. Maybe I got it wrong in the calendar. Sorry, guys, I'm wasting your time. Yeah, it says Mochani Ekadashi. And then the next Ekadashi is Varutini. Seems to be missing then. Whatever, doesn't matter. Sorry about that. I wonder if it has two names or something. Oh wait, I'm just noticing the comments. Okay. All right, so Vasishtha Muni continued. So if you observe this vow, you'll be relieved of your separation grief. I shall provide an example to illustrate this point. Vasishtha Muni continued. There was a city, a metropolis called Bhadravati on the bank of the river Saraswati. That was the capital of a kingdom. And in this city resided a king by the name of Dutiman. This king was very religious-minded, righteous, and pious. In that kingdom, there was also a Vaishya by the name Dhanapala. Vaishya indicates the third social class, the business class. They engage in business as the means of earning their livelihood and are often quite wealthy. This person, like the king, was very pious. He always acted for the benefit of humanity and for the good of all, including the subjects of the king. Everyone was very grateful and respectful toward him. He had 5 sons, but it was his misfortune that his youngest son, Drishtabuddhi, was without good character, a debauchee. Dhanapala was naturally very disappointed with the situation. He thought, what is this? My son is squandering the money that I collect, and he is also associating with prostitutes. He is committing all kinds of heinous crimes. One day, one day Dhanapal saw his youngest son walking along the road while embracing the neck of a harlot. At the sight of this, he was very much distressed and disappointed. He thought, I don't want this son. I'll drive him out. He should go. I do not like his behavior. Dhanapal then drove his son out from his home. Due to the prestigious social position and wealth of his father, Drishtabuddhi had some money with him for several days after being driven out. However, when this money ran out, he had to resort to all kinds of criminal activities such as robbery, eventually leading to his arrest by the police. When the police realized that he was a son of the respected Dhanapal, they released him. Ultimately, he had no choice but to live in a dense forest where he killed the beasts and birds for sustenance. He was committing all kinds of sins. Otherwise, how would he survive with no money? All of a sudden, he saw coming toward him in wet clothing a great saint by the name of Kaundinya Muni, who had just finished bathing. Upon encountering him, a drop of water fell from the Muni's wet clothing onto Drishtabuddhi, and he was immediately sanctified. Drishtabuddhi became repentant, thinking to himself, I've spoiled my whole life. I've deprived myself of the affection of my parents. What have I done? Thinking in this way, he fell down at the feet of Kaundinya Muni, saying, Please rescue me. Please rescue me. You are all merciful. Please rescue me, as I am the most wretched creature. There is no soul more fallen than I. In this way, he repeatedly offered prayers to Kaundinya Muni, who was compassionate by nature. Kaundinya Muni asked, Who are you? Drishtabuddhi introduced himself, informing Kaundinya Muni of his unfortunate plight. Kaundinya Muni then told him not to worry and advised, if you observe Mohini Ekadashi, all your previous sins will be destroyed. It is the scriptural prescript and law to observe this vow. Accordingly, Drishtabuddhi followed his advice and was relieved of the burden of all his sins. Not only this, but he went to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord by observing Ekadashi. In the Karma-khaṇḍa Shastra, you will find that this sort of encouragement is being given. But the Shuddha Bhaktas observe Ekadashi solely for the satisfaction of Sri Krishna. What is the real purpose of Ekadashi? Our Smriti Grantha, our Vaishnav Smriti book, is called Hari Bhakti Vilas. In this, there are all laws or rules stipulating how to properly perform all the vows that have devotion to the Supreme Lord as their goal. Those who are pure devotees like to act in accordance with the injunctions of the devotional literatures, especially Hari Bhakti Vilas. In this literature, the actual purpose of observing Ekadashi is written. Upavritasya papebhyo yastu vaso gunai saha upavasa savigyeya sarva bhoga vivarjitaha. That's Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas 13:14. Giving up all sins and with all good qualities, one who remains near Krishna, totally relinquishing all enjoyments, has actually observed the vow of Ekadashi. Upavritasya papebhyo. We are to give up all sinful activity. We are to refrain, to desist from committing all sins. On Ekadashi Titi, this is the very least we should do. And while exhibiting all good qualities, we should remain near the Supreme Lord, who is all good, all existence, all knowledge, and all bliss. Upa vas. Upa means near to, in the vicinity of, or in the proximity of. And vas means to remain near God. It is generally thought that upavas means to remain without food, to fast. Yeah, it's like the general dictionary definition. You'll see it means to fast. But upa, near, vas, reside near the Lord. That is the deeper meaning of upavas. So that's how we follow Ekadashi upavas, not merely by fasting, but by our mind always being absorbed in the Lord, residing near the Lord. If you remain without food, but you think to yourself, when shall I eat? My stomach is burning with hunger. Then you are not thinking about Krishna. You're thinking about your stomach. If that should be the case, then you can take food that is allowed by the scriptures. But you should always think about Krishna. Yeah, if you do nirjala and you're just thinking about your stomach all day, then better eat something so that you can always think about Krishna. Because then you're breaking your upavas. Your mind is not near Krishna anymore. But even though you think you're doing upavas, fasting, you're actually not doing upavas because your mind is not absorbed in Krishna. It's absorbed in your stomach. So you're breaking your upavas. Right. So there's a verse. Apo mulam phalampaya havir brahmana kamya cha gurur vachanam aushadam e ashtaitanya vrata Gnani. That's Hari Bhakti Vilas 1240, quoted from the Udyog Parbha of Mahabharata. If you take the foods stated in this verse, there'll be no breach of your vow. You can take water. Mulam means potatoes and other roots that grow under the earth. You can boil them, and your vow will not be broken. Phalam, it means all kinds of fruits can be taken. Cow's milk and milk preparations such as yogurt and ghee can also be taken. With ghee from cow's milk, you can prepare a curry from vegetables like potatoes or other roots. Green bananas, that's not, plantain's not green bananas. Anyhow, green bananas and papaya are also acceptable. There will be no breach of vow if medicine is taken that the doctors have prescribed for a serious, possibly life-threatening health problem. Yeah, if you have a serious, possibly life-threatening health problem, then you can take medicine. Medicine, though, just medicine doesn't mean like eating grains or anything. If a bona fide Brahmin would like to take something, then he or she should fulfill their desire in such a way that their vow will not be destroyed. However, one should take note that the actual prescript of the devotional scriptures is that on Ekadashi, one should always remain near Bhagavan, upavas, all day and night. All day and night. We should not forget him. There are many prohibitions, many commandments, both positive and negative assertions. There is a list of things that one should not do, a list of negative assertions. Should there be any kind of action that will make you forget Krishna, then that is also prohibited, even if it is not included in the list. There are also commandments, 9 forms of devotion, 64 forms of devotion, like this. Should there be any other kind of action or devotion that will remind you of Krishna or the service of Krishna? Should there be any other kind of action or devotion that will remind you of Krishna or the service of Krishna, then that is allowed, even though it may not be on the list. What is the criterion to understand what we are to do and what we are not to do? Here's the criterion. Smartavya satatam vishnur, vismartavyo na jatuchit, sarve vidi nishedhasyur, etayor eva kinkara. That's from the Padma Puran, quoted in Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya Lila 22:113. We have to remember Krishna always. That is the prescription or injunction of the devotional scriptures. We should never forget him. So therefore, the purpose of observing this vow of Ekadashi is to remember Krishna always. Wherever your mind is, you are there also. You're here now in this temple, but you're thinking about your house and your relatives. So who may be there experiencing difficulty of some sort? Or perhaps you're thinking that there is some work at home that requires your attention. If you are thinking like this, then where are you actually staying? You're physically staying here at the temple, but mentally you are staying at your house. Is it not so? Wherever your mind rests, wherever your mind remains, you will be there also. If you go to Vrindavan, but you're not thinking about Vrindavan, then where are you staying? Physically you're there, but mentally you are somewhere else. The primary factor is the mind. In all the different devotional forms of worship, the target is to engage the mind in the service of Krishna. If you can control the mind, all the senses will be controlled automatically as they are subservient to the mind. Sarve mano nigraha lakshnantam. Now the difficulty is this, sarva bhoga vivarjita. On this day, you have to give up all kinds of bhog, sensuous enjoyment, totally. If you have the inclination to enjoy, you can only enjoy that which is inferior to you. You will not be able to remain near Bhagavan or the Bhakta because they are superior. If you have the spirit of enjoyment, you will remain near material things, the temporary, non-eternal things of this world, things that you can lord it over. If you want to observe Ekadashi to remain always near Krishna, then you have to give up all kinds of enjoyment totally. You have to remain near Krishna. But there's yet another problem. What is that problem? Who is Krishna? Krishna is not a human being. Harirhi nirguna shakshat purusha prakrite para. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 10:88-5. Hari, Krishna, is transcendental. He is beyond mind, intelligence, and the sense organs of the conditioned souls of this world. You cannot stay near Hari by means of this physical body composed of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and the astral body composed of mind, intellect, and perverted ego, which are produced by the apara potency of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, the material energy. An example can be given. The owner of a building is residing on the 10th floor, and his servant is residing on the ground floor of the building. If the servant says on the ground floor, if the servant stays on the ground floor, will he be able to serve the owner of the building? He must go upstairs to the 10th floor by means of walking or taking the elevator, and he must enter the apartment and then the room where the owner may be lying down. He must then proceed to the bedstead where he can sit and give a massage if necessary. By remaining on the ground floor, he cannot serve. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is in the transcendental realm, but you are on the mundane plane, you are on the mundane plane with this physical body. How then are we to remain near the Supreme Lord? Tell me, does the Supreme Lord have a material form? Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakaranā Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. He has Vigraha, form, but it is made of Sat, eternal existence, Chit, knowledge, and Ananda, bliss, not of material things. How then can I remain near Krishna with this material body? The devotional spiritual injunction is that we should remain near God. But God is transcendental, beyond our comprehension. So the problem is, how are we to stay near him? What is the solution? We can find in the Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata, Diksha kale bhakta kore atma samarpan, She kale Krishna tare kore atma samam, She deha kore tar chidananda moy, Aprakrita dehe tar charana bhajai. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya-lila, chapter 4, verses 192 to 193. Mahāprabhu speaking to Sanatana Gosvāmī, right? At the time of taking mantra diksha, the devotee takes absolute shelter of Gurudev. Shri Krishna makes the devotee chid ananda moy via the medium of Gurudev. And in that transcendental form, the devotee can worship Krishna. What is the significance of this? Diksha kale bhakta kori atma samarpan. Diksha means mantra diksha and harinam diksha. There are two kinds of diksha, and when we take diksha, we surrender to the lotus feet of Gurudev and to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. However, we are not seeing the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is here in his deity form, but he is not talking with us. We cannot exchange thoughts with him, even though he is here in his deity form. Very rarely, among many, many human beings, we may find a devotee of Krishna. We might find a devotee of Krishna to whom the Murti or deity is speaking. But generally, we experience no exchange of thoughts. On the other hand, although we know that the material body and the things related to it are temporary, we exchange thoughts with them, and as a result, we become attached. We have attachment for non-eternal physical relations, but we have no attachment for Krishna. What can be done? What is the procedure? You will find in the dialogue between Kapila Bhagavan and Mata Devi Huti in the 3rd canto of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Prasangam ajaram pasham atmana kavayo vidu saeva sadhushu krito mokshadvaram apavritam. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 3:25-20. You are seeing the sadhu. The sadhu is moving and talking. The real or bona fide sadhu has one pointed devotion to the Supreme Lord Krishna. He is giving everything, mind, intelligence, speech, and senses, everything for the service of Krishna. He is serving Krishna 24 hours a day. Such a Shuddha Bhakta is rarely to be found. You should go to a Shuddha Bhakta. But who is a Shuddha Bhakta? Kapila Bhagavan says that a Shuddha Bhakta must have this original quality of one pointed devotion to the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, he cannot be accepted as a Shuddha Bhakta. One should find a Shuddha Bhakta such as our Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj. By speaking with him and seeing his outward appearance, everyone was attracted. Some even thought that he was the son of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur due to their striking physical similarity. Of course, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had no son as he was an ascetic. For those who have not personally seen our Param Gurudev, then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, it would be noted that he would think and speak about Krishna 24 hours a day. Many pundits, erudite scholars, would come to debate with him, thinking to challenge his contentions and refute what he was preaching about. But when they actually saw him, they had become speechless and bowed down before him. So much power! They were astounded at the sight of him because his knowledge was not merely that of books, but of realization sent by Śrī Caitanya-bhāgavata. It is a completely different thing. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was in the habit of sending our Gurudev in advance to functions, as Srila Gurudev was always very successful in his endeavors wherever he went. One such occasion was when our Param Gurudev visited Sarabhog, Assam for the first time. There was a great reception for Srila Prabhupada when he arrived. While in Sarabhog, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur traveled in a bullock cart, while others walked to different places in the area. At that time, one of my senior godbrothers, Srila Asha Maharaj, was a young Brahmin boy acting as a family guru there in Assam. While following Param Gurudev's cart one day, the Brahmin, when he says Param Gurudev, he's referring to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So while following Param Gurudev's cart one day, the Brahmin boy, who was perhaps 1 or 2 years older than myself, asked Param Gurudev what his name was and where he had come from. The resulting conversation destroyed his connection with family life. So, therefore, conversing with a sadhu is very dangerous. By seeing, hearing, and engaging in a dialogue with Srila Prabhupada, the Brahmin boy became very much attracted. His family had placed many restrictions upon him, such as you should not go outside, you should take mantra here, etc. But instead, he renounced everything and came to our mat. The Shuddha Bhakta is so attractive. Upon first sight, Srila Asha Maharaj was attracted. This boy had no prior knowledge of scripture, but because the Shuddha Bhakta is gracious to all, being the grace incarnate of the Supreme Lord, he was attracted by only a brief encounter. The grace of the Shuddha Bhakta extends to all living beings, not just to human beings, because they are one with Krishna. They are equal to all, and they show affection to everyone. And it is this affection that attracts people. Param Gurudev was ordered by Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur to preach the message of Śrī Caitanya-Mahaprabhu. The Panchatattva appeared to him, telling him, "Do not be afraid. We are giving you this order." Within a very short time, he stirred the whole world. So many disciples came, our Gurudev, Puri Goswami Maharaj, Ban Maharaj, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, and Sridhar Maharaj, all stalwart figures. In this way, he expanded himself. So, if you take shelter of the lotus feet of Gurudev, who is the absolute counterpart of Sri Bhagavan, Krishna will accept you through that medium and make your body transcendental. Diksha kale bhakta kore atma samarpan. Diksha does not merely mean hearing the mantra. It means submitting totally to the lotus feet of a bona fide guru. Krishna gives his grace through the guru. Krishna gives his grace through the guru, who is grace incarnate. If you wish to see the sun, you cannot do so by ignoring the light from the rays of the sun. First, the light will come, and through the medium of that light, you will see the sun. The sun is self-effulgent, self-luminous. And in the night, if you want to see the sun, you will not be able to see it. Even if you connect together all the electric lights of the world, you will not be able to see the sun at night. You might see the light of those electric lights and mistakenly think that this is the sun, but it is not. You have to wait for the sun to rise. When the sun rises, you have to accept the grace of the sun. You have to take the sun. You should not keep your eyes closed. You have to open them. You have to open the doors and windows. You have to accept. Then, through that medium, you will see the sun. There is no other way. Self-effulgent God is the cause of all causes. He has no cause, so he is self-evident truth, self-luminous. By his grace, you can get him. That grace incarnate form is Guru. If you are very fortunate, you can come in contact with the sadhu, the bona fide Guru. God graces us all through the medium of the devotee. Diksha kale bhakta kore atma samarpan. She kale Krishna tare kore atma sam. At the time when we sincerely submit to the bona fide Guru, who is the grace incarnate of Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, through that medium, Shri Krishna will take us, and he will embrace us and make our body transcendental, fit for sitting near him. She deha koretar chidanandamoy aprakrita dehetar charana bhajai. That transcendental spiritual form can worship Krishna. With this body, you cannot enter the transcendental realm of Vrindavan. Vrindavan is not a material part of India. It has descended. God descends, his realm descends, and his associates also descend. Even Śrī Caitanya Gaudiya Math is not part of Kolkata or Chandigarh. Śrī Caitanya Gaudiya Math has descended there. Where can you perform worship of Shri Shri Radha Krishna? Only in the transcendental realm, in Vrindavan Dham. Radha Krishna always remain in Vrindavan Dham. By the grace of a true devotee, one may receive the service of Radha Krishna. An ordinary person cannot perform this service. So Vrindavan is not a part of this world. It is not part of India. It is not part of Uttar Pradesh. Vrindavan is the transcendental spiritual realm. Vrindavan, the transcendental spiritual realm, has descended there. We must submit to Krishna to understand. In the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma, the creator of the material universe, stole the cowherd friends and calves from Shri Krishna, thinking Krishna to be an ordinary boy. Lord Brahma was bewildered by this form of Krishna as a simple cowherd boy, thinking that if Krishna were Bhagavan, he would exhibit great opulence and majesty. Now the point is this: if Brahma could not understand Krishna, then how can we understand him? It is very difficult. For this reason, when we take absolute shelter of Gurudev, the grace incarnate of Shri Krishna, Krishna will grace us, and we will become competent to receive a form comprised of Satchidananda. In that form, we can remain near Krishna and observe Ekadashi correctly. But this is very difficult. It is not so easy. However, having said this, there is one easy way for the enslaved jivas. What's the easy way? Chaitanya Mahāprabhu himself has taught us that we are to do, this is really nice. So it is very difficult. Who can understand him? Well, it is not so easy. But having said this, there is one easy way. There's a secret, the easy way for the enslaved jivas. Chaitanya Mahāprabhu himself has taught us what we are to do on Ekadashi. We are familiar with Narad Muni and Krishna Lila. In Chaitanya Lila, Narad appeared as Srivas in Mayapur Dham to fulfill the pastimes of Gauranga Mahāprabhu. In Srivas Angan, in the home of Srivas Pandit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to perform Sankirtan along with his personal associates, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Ācārya Prabhu, etc., throughout the whole night for an entire year, taking no sleep. If we remain sleepless for even one night, then we have to go to the hospital for a week. Now, what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teach that we should do on Ekadashi? Shri Harivasare Hari Kirtana Vidhana Nritta Arambila Prabhu Jagatera Pran. It's Chaitanya Bhagavata Madhya Lila, chapter 8, verse 138. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur here describes the scene of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing and chanting at the house of Srivas Pandit on Ekadashi. The devotional prescripts are that you have to perform kirtan vidhan. Those are the prescripts. Kirtan vidhan. You are to utter the holy name. That name and the named are identical. You cannot remain in the vicinity of the deities when the deities are asleep and the doors are closed. But you can utter the name at any time of day or night. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that he has imbued the holy name with a special power in this Kali Yuga. Nam namakari bahuda nijasarva shaktis tartarpita niyamita smarnena kala. Etadrishi tapakripa bhagavan mamafi durdaivam idrishamiha janina anuraga. That's second verse of Shikshashtakam. We are unfortunate that we have no desire to utter the holy name. The name and the named are the same. So you have to perform Harinam always. Hari Vasar Hari Kirtan. To observe the vow of Ekadashi correctly, you have to abide by the rules and regulations for eating, etc. You have to abide by the rules and regulations for eating, etc. That you should do. But the main thing is that you have to remain near Krishna. You have to utter his name, because the name and the named are the same. When you utter Krishna, you'll be near him. Krishna and the name Krishna are identical. Nama Chintamani Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nita Mukto Bhinatvam Nama Namino. It's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, also quoted from Padma Puran. We are uttering all these evidences, so we should have belief. Nritta Arambila Prabhu Jagater Pran. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started dancing. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He is the life of all the beings of the world. He is the most beloved. You will find the following verse in the 7th canto of Śrīmad Bhagavatam, wherein Prahlad is speaking to the demon voice. Na hyachutam prinayato bhavayasya suratmaja atmatvat sarvabhutanam siddhatvad iha sarvata. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 7:6-19. Prahlad Maharaj says, it is not very difficult to satisfy Krishna, because he is the most beloved object of all the jivas. You will find in this world that the mother is the most beloved of the child. But you will also see that there is some self-interest involved. In this world, without there being something that satisfies one's self-interest, you will not find any love. Nevertheless, we see that there is such a thing as affection between mother and child. I've heard that the closest thing to pure love in this world is the love between a mother and a child. Now let us suppose a child is given a biscuit, and as he's eating it, the biscuit falls onto the ground. The biscuit, wet with the saliva of the child, will become covered with dust and other things on the ground. Then the child might give the biscuit to his mother, saying, "Here, eat this." The mother would not ordinarily eat such a thing, but to satisfy her child, she puts the biscuit to her mouth. So it is not very difficult to please Krishna, because he is the most beloved. You can chant, "Oh Hari, oh Krishna, where are you? Please forgive me, please bless me." If you can utter this from the core of your heart, then he will be pleased. If you have nothing to give him, you have nothing to give him. He does not want anything. He has infinite wealth. You can attract him only by your devotion. With sincere devotion, you can utter his name. This is true under all circumstances. Now continuing this. Punyavanta Shiva Sangane Shubharamba. Same chapter, verse 139. That's the next verse. Shiva Sangan became the most sacred of all became the most sacred and of all holy places by dint of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu's powerful Sankirtan. The most auspicious commencement had begun on Ekadashi. What is that? Uttilo Kirtana Dvani Gopala Govinda. Same chapter, Caitanya-bhāgavata. And then Hari O Rama Rama, Hari O Rama Ram. That's Caitanya-bhāgavata Madhya-khaṇḍa 2392. The utterance of the name Gopala, Govinda, the loud shouting of the holy name of Govinda had started. That sweet sound, the transcendental sounds you will not find in this material world. You have notes, tones, etc. in this world. But that transcendental sweet sound of the utterance of the holy name, Gopal, Govinda, Hari, Ram, Ram, Hari, Ram, Ram, that will rescue us. You should do Harinam. It is very easy. If you do Harinam, you will be near Krishna. You will get more benefit on Ekadashi if you perform your worship at a temple, a place where the devotees are assembled to worship the Supreme Lord. This is also called Dham. If you perform worship in the transcendental realm, in Mathura Dham, Brajmandal, Navadip Dham, or Purushottam Dham, you will get more benefit. Wherever devotees assemble and sing the glories of the Supreme Lord is also Dham. Mad bhakta yatra gayanti tatra tishtanti narada. That's Padma Puran. Krishna was telling Narad, where do I stay? Wherever my devotees sing the glories of my name, form, attributes, pastimes, and personal associates is a place that I stay. So if you observe this practice in the company of bona fide Shuddha Bhaktas, sadhus, it will have special efficacy. Wow, this is a really, my God, this goes on for a really long time. I think I will have to continue this tomorrow. Yeah, because this is this, oh my God, it doesn't end. Whoa. This is a long chapter. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to end here because it's already 8:42. My God. And I'll probably finish by like 9 o'clock if I continue reading. So anyhow, if anybody wants to read this very blissful Akadashi class by Srila Bhakti Ballabha Gosvāmī Maharaj, you can go to bbtirtha.org. And then there's the book section, and you'll find it's called Taste of Transcendence. They just updated the website the day before yesterday, I noticed. And it's all laid out very nicely. You can see the chapter of this book. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining. Jai Akadashi Vrat Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. I'm just going to show you where you can download it. Hey, where's my, anyhow, let's see. Okay, I'll do a short Jayadvani and then we'll end. bbtirtha.org though. See, here's the website, bbtirtha.org. And then, okay. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudeva Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Ashtatara Shata Shishimar Śrīla Bhaktivedanta Swāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Brigyan Keshav Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravishtam Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravishta Mahā-bhagavat Śrīla Gorksharas Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravishta Śrīla Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Nitya-lila Pravishta Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bharadas Raghunath Shar Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai. Nama Acharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय. श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय. सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय. श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद यमुना गंगा तुलसी भक्ति देवी की जाय. श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय. जय श्री भक्ति बल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी महाराज की जाय. And Śrī Kamada Akadashi Titi Ki Jai. But then it looks like this is Mohini Akadashi. One second. Let me just, I'm looking in the calendar. This is, according to Drik Panchang, this is the Shukla Akadashi, right? Anyhow, doesn't matter. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Jai Shri Caitanya-bhāgavata Ki Jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri the Gaudiya Vashya Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaya Vacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. For today was an extra long reading. I just looked on the website though, as you could see, and I didn't see the book, A Taste of Transcendence. So I have the PDF if anybody wants it. Send me a message on either Messenger or WhatsApp. WhatsApp's better. And I can send you the PDF. Actually, I'll share it in our group. I'll share the PDF in our Caitanya-bhāgavata WhatsApp group. Yeah. All right. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much. See you all tomorrow to read about Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Narendra Sarovar, the water sports with all the devotees, and the boating pastimes. Jai Shri Radhe. Haribo, Champak Mataji, Gopal Ganasham Prabhu, Shubhananda Prabhu, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Hare Krishna. And let's see, on YouTube and Facebook, Suman Shil, Rup Manjari Didi, Rukmini Didi. Okay, it's Ekadashi for you tomorrow. So now you'll have this all in your head when you wake up tomorrow morning for Ekadashi. Oh, Rukmini is saying that the alignment of the Vaishnava and Bengali months changes from year to year until Purushottam realigns it. Okay, okay. She says, if I remember correctly, Kondinya Muni chanted the mantra Govardhana Dharam Bande Gopala Goparupinam Gokala Utsava Ishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam. Cool. For Purushottam, right? That's the Haribo Rasapriya Didi, Amit Dandikar, Mira Srila Bhakti Dai Maharaj. It says SBDM. I don't know who that is, but Hare Krishna Mira, Shasharmaji, and everybody. Dandavat pranams. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll end at a proper time. These past days for Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī, we've been going later every day, but now I'll start to get in a regular schedule because I want to be respectful of everybody's time. All right.